Hi, I'm Dr. Leah Lawson, and today we're going to be talking about hip flexor stretch. So the hip flexors are commonly your iliopsoas, which is two muscles at the top, but then combined into one near your legs. So the first muscle, your iliacus, actually comes from the inside of your hip bones here, and then attached down onto the leg bone. And your psoas muscle is going to be attaching at the front part of your spine and down into that into the leg bone as well. This stretch will also secondarily get a little bit of your rec-fem, which is part of your quad muscle, but the main muscle we're talking about is the iliopsoas. So this is a really common muscle in people who sit all day at a desk. So often you'll see, like sitting, you can imagine that this muscle is now in a shortened position for the majority of the day, which makes that muscle tight. In other populations could be either cyclists or hockey players, because they're in this tiny little bit of hip flexion all the time. So this stretch is pretty easy. You want to get down into a lunge position, but before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about your hip placement. So you can have a little bit of a pelvic tilt when doing this, either rolling your hips forward or back. So in this stretch, you want to make sure that you are posterior tilting your pelvis. So basically what that means is tucking your tail underneath, kind of shortening those abs, and tucking that tail. So neutral, and then you're going to tuck under. And this will provide more of a deeper stretch without getting that full lunge. So to do this quite easy, you're going to go down into a lunge position, and then you're going to make sure that your tail is tucked, that posterior pelvic tilt. So as soon as I do that, I can feel that stretch on this leg. If I don't do that posterior pelvic tilt, I can hang out down into a lunge like this and I don't feel a stretch at all. So the first thing you're going to do is posterior pelvic tilt, feel that stretch, and then if you need a little bit more, you can lunge forward. You're going to hold it until you feel that stretch, no pain, and then you can come on out of it. So again, this stretch is really good for either those sitting at desk all day or specific sports like hockey or cyclists. If you have any questions, let me know, and happy stretching.